Ever seen a deck that merges destruction with discard? This unique combo blends these two strategies together for some truly unexpected power plays. Let's dive in and see how destroying and discarding can actually work together to dominate. We kick the deck off with Death, and to get her discounted, we use Lady Deathstrike and Killmonger.
Hey, Auntie.
Who also destroys Squirrel Girl and X-23. Bucky Barnes is here to turn into Winter Soldier when he gets destroyed by either Lady Deathstrike or Carnage. Daken is here, who also generates a shard, which when destroyed or discarded, brings Daken up to 8 power. We can discard that shard with Silver Samurai, who also provides you with fantastic disruption against your opponent. Stature then gets discounted to 1 cost at 7 power, that's fantastic. And she also gets discounted by Black Bolt, who also disrupts your opponent's hand. And did you really think my deck wasn't going to have Shang-Chi in it? One last note, this is actually the first time I am featuring a deck that I have not created personally. It is just a fascinating mashup of cards. It instantly had me curious and intrigued. And in my testing, it just works fantastic. It catches your opponent off guard. They don't know what to expect. Let me get into some games and show you. We have Link. Do I just throw X-23 there? Let's throw X-23 there now. 8 cards in their deck. They have the Namora avatar. Nothing to do on turn 2. Do I just throw the Daken there? No. Let me just depend on drawing into Shang-Chi. So let's see how this goes. Okay, does Daken get destroyed? Daken does not get destroyed. They have extra energy. So I need to watch for potentially a turn 5 Galactus. There is the Sean. I think I do that now. I do that now, and then turn 5 is Black Bolt. This means I keep priority going into turn 5, which for me is pretty important because I can play Black Bolt into Oscorp Tower.
In peace.
And then that discards the Miramasa shard. It discounts my Stature. So they have a lot of points to overcome left. They have Danger Room. There is the Galactus, as I called out. And Black Bolt is not Silver Samurai. So I can go Miramasa shard, Stature, and Killmonger. Let's just load up over here. They have a lot to overcome left. Sure, they could play Shang-Chi, but now they really need to load up in another lane. So because of that, we were super well positioned. It is important once you see Electro to plan for the Galactus, so I did. You heard me talk through how I grabbed priority. And you see how this deck works. It's not an easy deck to pilot. There are so many different lines you can take with this deck, and it's just knowing which line to go down and recognizing that. So this deck definitely will take some practice. It is not easy to pilot. I'm still making mistakes with this deck because I'm still learning how to use it, but I can tell it's a very effective deck. Okay, next up is the red shirt one. Luke's Bar. I can get in there with Squirrel Girl. I don't think there's anything else. So that 1 point of power from the squirrel better be enough. Rank 4,000 player. 8 cards in their deck on turn 1. So they are basic.
You're basic.
Yeah, I noticed.
Let's look at my hand. I have kind of my top end. Ooh, they are going to have some cheap cards.
This just in.
I mean, they got my Squirrel Girl, right? They definitely got my Squirrel Girl. Oh, maybe I play Squirrel Girl into Luke's Bar. I should have been doing that. Discount Death. So there is the Zabu. I will probably need to draw into my Jotunheim. That is fine. Squirrel Girl and X-23. Turn 4 is Killmonger. Cheap cards indeed. They also might have Captain Marvel. Do I play Silver Samurai? No, let's get down to Killmonger now. Killmonger now. The Silver Samurai is actually 50-50 between Psylocke and Squirrel Girl. So I will probably want to go with a Black Bolt.
Rest in peace.
There is the cheap death. Come on, X-23. There is that. I don't know how many times they've played into Luke's bar. Oh, I have to play Black Bolt, right? Black Bolt, right, and then ultimately I have to play a Squirrel, right, as well. Let's see how this pans out. Okay. They had Killmonger. Okay. The question. What do they have? They only have a 4-cost Scar. They played Zabu the first 3 turns, so they have a 1-cost. This is just, do I think X-23 can win Luke's bar on her own? That's all this is. And then I do Stature, Death, and what else? I mean, I guess Squirrel Girl. Get a 3rd point of power into Luke's bar. This is enough, right? Well, let's see after the debuff. Okay, yeah. So this is why this deck is powerful. They had cheap 4-cost cards, which they didn't really get a chance to play out. They only have Crossbones and Typhoid down on the board. I did mention the Scar, but it only got discounted once by the Crossbones. Being able to play Stature and Death on the last turn is just a lot of power. We were aided by Luke's bar, of course. You saw that the Black Bolt came into play and got rid of their Killmonger, so now they couldn't get us out of Luke's bar. They needed something for their own cards to get in there, Jeff or Captain Marvel. This is how this deck works. It's kind of weird, but it's just kind of figuring out game by game what works and going down that line. And this game, I was able to do that. Okay, next up we have Nano. Nowhere. I think I just get down the Bucky and then the Carnage. Los Diablos base, okay. Bucky also is a very good target for Lady Deathstrike. So that is something to keep in mind. With the Agony avatar, they may be a Deadpool destroy deck. We will see. This is a low collection level player. 880 with the Colossus. I snapped before this turn. 1, because they're a low collection level player. I'm very sorry, Nano. And 2, these are all pretty good pulls. So, and I have extra energy going into next turn. They got me.
You basic.
Yeah, I noticed.
they got me. Okay, there goes my Killmonger. That's fine. This is clearly Spectrum ongoing. Oh, the snapback. Look at this. A bold soul. Let's go Silver Samurai. What is this? Lowest power? That's fine for either of those. Okay, we nabbed their Iron Man. The Daken, this has potential. And so this is, if this is a Spectrum left, ooh, we got it. We got it indeed. So just play that there. This, and this should always beat Spectrum. Spectrum is a... Oh, what about Destroyer? I can't beat both. I can't beat both. If I play Stature middle? 7, what's this? +1, so this goes up to 13. This is 12. Man, I can't beat everything. Oh boy. I can't beat it all. Okay, I think I played in the right lane. Oh. Yeesh. I think I got it. Because this should put me over... Oh, it was just a claw. I was really panicking for no reason. Victory. Destroyer right beats me. How much is Destroyer? 14, I think? That's what I was concerned about. Destroyer here, 14, 17. So this is why I put all my power here. I was just banking. This is where they would play their Spectrum. This is where they would play their Destroyer. If Stature middle was enough, that also would have won because I would have had 11 points here and I would have covered all 3 lanes. It wouldn't... Would it have still beat a Spectrum left? At 12? That play wouldn't have beat a Spectrum left. So yeah, this is a game where I just couldn't cover all of my bases. And ultimately, this being a low collection level player, they almost got me, clearly. But the claw play, that was just never really gonna win. I had 4 points here. All I needed to do was add another 4 to get to 8. But otherwise, you got to see how this deck works in a, after getting countered in a suboptimal way. Not drawing too well, but drawing into the Stature was perfect, and I was able to pull it out. Okay, next up is Sandville. I have nothing to do on turn 1. They have 8 cards in their deck. They are normal like me. Cull Obsidian. Just high-end, bad draw luck. Silk, you do not see her often. Lately. There is the X23. So, let's play X23 and Carnage.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here.
Perfect. Nothing gets pulled. And next turn I have options. I can go with Lady Deathstrike. I can go with Cull. I hold the Killmonger. I will go with Cull. There is Stegron. Yeah, this is a move disruption deck. I can go Black Bolt here. Do I go Black Bolt to maybe disrupt them? I need to be aware of a Magneto. I could play Lady Deathstrike or Silver Samurai. I will choose to go with Black Bolt left.
Who will the winds bring?
Okay, we get rid of their Spider-Man. That is nice. If they play Magneto left, that pulls the Cull. If I play Shang-Chi here, they have priority. So that means their Spider-Man goes up to 10. So I lose to a Magneto. I lose to a potentially. The Silk would have to go middle. Or no, because Spider-Man gets buffed. I mean, I could just play my highest power card, like Lady Deathstrike here, if I'm thinking they're going to Magneto. Do I do that? For 1 cube? Okay. Oh, and Cannonball. Cannonball and Kingpin. So yeah, even
Peace.
my Shang-Chi here still would have lost because Silk moved. I would have had to play Shang-Chi right and Bucky middle. And then hope the Silk goes back here. Oh no, it wouldn't have mattered because there was no Magneto play. So yeah, the Shang-Chi right would have won. Yes, Shang-Chi right wins the game. I was afraid of the Magneto, but I probably shouldn't have been. This is why I shouldn't have been afraid of Magneto. Magneto loses them a lane. They have to hope I just play for middle, which is what they did. It makes more sense for them to play a Cannonball. So Shang-Chi, in hindsight, was the better play in this scenario because the chances were low they were actually going to play Magneto just to lose a lane and give me middle. So that is why playing Shang-Chi right is probably the better play. Okay, next up is Shab. Asteroid M. That's okay. I have my high end. They have 8 cards in their deck. They have a Hitmonkey avatar. This might potentially be... what's his face? A actual Hitmonkey deck. I will play Vibranium into the unknown location. I do not like my hand, so we will try to lean into RNG and see what that brings us. My hand's very top heavy. So I do have Black Bolt. I won't be able to get down Lady Deathstrike. I think I get the Squirrel Girl. We're playing her down here. That way, I probably should have played into Feast in hindsight. Play one of these 5-cost cards. I don't do that now. Yeah, I don't do that now. Play Daken down. Okay, it is a Scorn deck. A Colleen on turn 4? Yikes. So my Black Bolt, it costs the least. My Black Bolt might hit. It might hit their Scorn. So I don't know if I want to do that. Instead, I can discount Death. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Death will be 3. And do I get an extra energy? Let's get an extra energy. This here. I will hold Stature in hand. Okay, 2 extra energy it is. Just as a surprise play, that's 7 points of power. All these cards get destroyed, taking their sweet time, but we see Death ticking down to 2 because I cannot math. I think I said 3. Dracula. There's Silver Samurai. This down here. Do I think 12 middle is enough? That's basically what that boils down to. I have no... Oh, I'm sorry. This is why you hold cards. To see that Lady Deathstrike can destroy Dracula. So let's think about this last turn snap. Pretty even game. They have a strong play in Dracula. Do they think that is enough? I'm gonna last turn snap because I'm going to say they think it's enough. So I'm going to go here, here. Let's do this in order and get this Dracula hit last. Yeah, they do feel like they're in a strong enough position. So I should have enough power all across the board. Let's find out. There is enough. Right. Now, oh shoot. Victory. Well, it was closer than I thought it was going to be. But getting rid of Dracula is a huge, unexpected power play. Death is a pretty big, unexpected power play. And this Proxima, from my end, was unexpected. Although, being able to cover all 3 lanes in the way that I could. Now, these are some low totals. Don't get me wrong. But my opponent's game plan, it wasn't coming together. Remember, they played Colleen on turn 4. That's it. They played a 2-cost card on turn 4. Something's not working. You're not drawing the cards you need to. So because of that, I felt comfortable. And they had Dracula on the board. Nobody's expecting Lady Deathstrike. This is the rare opportunity where you last turn snap. It was still very close, so this could have gone horribly wrong. If they had played, well, even if they had played MODOK somewhere, if they had played MODOK left, I guess, and Scorn middle, that wins. But they were also looking to shore up all 3 lanes as well. So there were definitely ways that we could have lost this game. But with Dracula, people feel very safe in that Dracula lane. And the fact that I have Lady Deathstrike, Death, and Stature on the last turn, that's a lot of power. That this Lady Deathstrike was actually worth 24 points. That Dracula would have taken on Apocalypse's, it would have discarded Apocalypse, who was at 12. Apocalypse would have gone to 16. Dracula would have taken that 16 plus 1. Dracula's worth 17 power. 17 plus 7 is 24. Lady Deathstrike is a 524 play in this specific game with this specific matchup. Nobody's expecting that flip. So that is why I snapped in the last turn. It's very rare. This is probably the first time, if you've been watching me for a while, that I've ever done it while recording. I also very rarely do it when I'm off recording. But this is why I did it. It's super unexpected. We had a lot of power coming down on the last turn, and they just weren't expecting it. Okay, next up we have Red Star 1 420. Why not? Let's just see if we can't grab that extra energy. 8 cards in their deck. Can I get a Daken? I cannot.
Opponent snapped.
What's this snap mean? 7 cards in deck. Does this mean armor? Nah, I'll stick it out. Me and my curiosity. Me and my curiosity.
Impressive.
It is an armor snap. Okay, nobody gets the extra energy. Do I snap back? What's their play here? This discards the Bucky. I guess I can't snap back. Eesh. It's Silver Samurai down. Guess what you're not doing to TVA? You are not removing it. There is a lady.
Victory.
Oh boy. That's what I wish I snapped earlier. Of course, I had no clue what deck this was. Based on armor, who who in the world knows? Clearly, that's what I guessed what their snap means. And I'm glad I actually stuck through it, and that's why I destroyed the X-23 immediately with Killmonger to get her out from under armor, potentially. Which is what happened. I still had the extra energy. Thankfully, it was just 3 power they played there, so it's still a tie. So I still have an energy advantage. Which means I can play Silver Samurai. I kept the energy advantage. Clearly, their lowest power card was 5. With Storm, they had plans to get rid of TVA. And once that's over, they're not playing into Vormir. So now it's a tiebreaker situation. Honestly, I don't know what I would have played. Maybe it would have been Lady Deathstrike, right? Or Black Bolt, just to hedge against a Squirrel Girl, potentially. But yeah, we just blew up their plans. You get to see Silver Samurai working his magic, and this deck finds ways to win.